Hello and welcome to 2025, February 2025's edition of What the Heck is Going On in the Denver Housing Market. If you're new to my monthly market update series, this is where I break down and simplify exactly what is going on in our housing market today and give you actionable information so whether you are buying or selling, you know exactly how to win in today's market. If you like data, I'm going to show you data. If you don't like data, it freaks you out, it's too overwhelming, don't worry, I promise I'm going to simplify the heck out of this information. All right? Now, if you're new to my channel and you're ever like, oh my gosh, I want to talk to a real estate agent. Oh, what a coincidence. I'm a real estate agent. You can feel welcome to reach out. My contact information is below. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, now let's go ahead and dive into some numbers here. Now, February is really interesting because we're in February looking back on there we go. We're in February looking back on January's data, right? Now, January is a tough month to review because half of our data comes from December. And then half of it actually happens in January. Because think about it, properties go into contract in December, they close in January, we get that data in February. So what I'm not going to do is review this portion of the data here because this reflects December's market. And spoiler alert, we weren't selling as many homes, we never do. And housing prices softened, they pretty much always do in December. And homes took longer to sell. Oh my gosh, shocker. So let's come over here and talk about what happened in January to give us an idea of where we're going to go these next few months. Our pending sales, which is buyers writing offers, went up by 32%. So 32% more buyers jumping into the market. However, we had 135% more sellers listing their homes for sale. That is a huge amount of sellers putting their home on the market. So that shows a really good amount of buyer demand jumping back into the market and a lot of seller demand jumping back into the market, queuing us up for our busy season, which happens January through July, which are peak seasons when we're selling the most amount of homes, being around that March, April, May. The fact that we're seeing this big of an increase with buyers and sellers in January really makes me feel confident we're going to see another busy, healthy spring market. Now, sellers, that does not mean it is a slam dunk that you're going to get 30 offers on your property. Some will. Most won't. Why? Because if we look over here, I'm only going to show you one thing on this page, I promise. There's a lot of information, but just one. Active listings at month's end, which is a really nerdy way of saying how many homes for sale at the end of the month. We are up 58%. That means 58% more homes are on the market today for buyers to choose from and sellers to compete against. That means it is very crucial that sellers price right, position right, market right to make sure their home stands out because buyers just have so many more options. Instead of a few years ago when they got their search results every day, maybe they got one or two, pretty hard to miss a great property. Now they're getting 5, 10, 15, 20 or more results every single week. It's easy for your property to get lost in the shuffle. So you really want to make sure you have a strategy to stand out. Now, buyers, just because there's 58% more homes to choose from, doesn't mean it's a buyer's market. A lot of homes are getting into bidding wars still, depending on the neighborhood and the price point and all that good stuff. So both sellers and buyers really got to be ready with their game face on to be able to perform in the market because it's just a very different market than it has been. Because of the amount of inventory that we have and the amount of buyer demand that we have. Where do I think we're going to go? Well, so that's where we are right now in January and February. We're basically just hitting our foot on the gas going into our spring market. So things are really heating up. Now, where do I think we're going to go? This shows pending sales, which is buyers writing offer. It's a chart that shows 10 years of when we're selling the most amount of properties here in Denver. We're going to look at the green bar because that is all property types. Residential, and you can see that we peak and valley very consistently at the same time pretty much every year. All of these peaks are right around the June or July timeframe. All of the valleys are around the October, November, December timeframe. My favorite time if you're talking about listing and selling a property is that March, April, May timeframe because you're listing right before the peak. And you're like, wait, why wouldn't I want to list in the peak? Well, because our peak isn't perfectly timed every year. Maybe it's the first week of June. Maybe it's the first week of July. So if you aim for like first week of maybe middle of June, but we peak early and our market starts to decline first week of June, guess what? You just listed in a declining market. Now you're chasing the market because as you can see, once we start to decline, we decline pretty rapidly. So that March, April, May, you're catching the middle of that wave. And even if you don't nail it and you have to sit on the market a little bit longer, that's okay because the market is picking up and up and up. That's why I like March, April, May. Guys, if you want to talk through a whole bunch of strategies, whether you're selling or buying, I am happy to walk you through all of those things. I have some newer strategies that are working really well with my sellers and buyers. I'm happy to chat with you about. No pressure, no BS conversation. My information is below. I'd love to hear from you, but either way, I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't, then my apologies. Guys, thank you so much. See you on the next one.